All right, everyone, what's going on? Needs More Drums back in Farming Simulator 25 for a brand new little mini series. I'm excited for this one. It's something a little bit different than what I usually do, and I don't envision that this is going to go crazy, for a crazy long time. I just kind of wanted to do something different with the game that I haven't done in the past, and so we are here in Saxlingham in the UK. This is an area where there are a lot of big commercial farms, a little bit different than some of the other areas that I've been at in the UK. I'm used to the kind of the narrow roads, the smaller fields, the smaller equipment. This area tends to lend itself to kind of the opposite. We got big fields, we have the room for some big equipment, but we do not have big equipment at the moment. Welcome to Harvest Help Incorporated. This is our small little harvesting contracting business. We're going to start by helping some people around the area. We have just one little New Holland harvester here and a little Fiat tractor, and we'll get more into that in just a second. But the first thing that I want to explain is kind of what this series is about. So the main thing is that this is going to be a little bit of a challenge series, not so much in the forms of money or trying to limit ourselves with a certain type of equipment. Although we are limiting ourselves to kind of just doing contract work. We actually don't own any fields. All we own is this little plot of land here with this warehouse on it. Plenty of room for expansion, but we don't have any fields or any kind of farm of our own. Maybe that'll happen down the road. We'll see how I feel about this series. I say currently it's a mini series. You never know what'll happen. But the main theme of this series is that it's all going to be first person. And so I've been inspired to do this. The FarmSim guy recently put out a new series where he was using his Beam eye tracking software to make an in-cab only series, and I don't actually have that program. I'm thinking about it maybe in the future, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for now, I do have the mod that allows you to it forces you to only use the interior camera of the vehicles. So it might be a little bit of a challenge, especially when backing up some of the trailers in this game. Usually I'm pretty good with backing up trailers, but in this game the mirrors aren't really functional in a lot of the vehicles in the way that you would expect them to be. So it makes it a little bit challenging to kind of do that. But needless to say, we're going to see what happens. I'm kind of excited for that. So let me just pop up the display real quick. So yeah, you can see it is currently August. It is prime harvest season for a good deal of crops. We do have a few contracts on the horizon that we could take, but we only have $932 in the bank, so we don't have really any money for anything, and let alone helpers, and let alone or at least a lot of helpers. We do have one. We do have a guy named his name is Richard. He's going to help us out on this for a little bit. So we're going to pay him a flat fee of, I think I remember it's 4,000 a month. I think that's what we're going to do. So end of every month, we agreed on $4,000 in cash. So we're going to have to deduct that out of our savings at the end of every month. So that means we are nowhere close to that now. We're going to have to get started with some work. So let's go ahead and take a look at the contracts and see what is available in the area. All right, so as you can see, we actually have a good deal of harvesting contracts that we could do. So we have, some barley, we have some wheat, canola, wheat, and another barley contract. I think what we might start with is we might start with this small wheat harvest. This is only 7.6 acres. Some of these other ones are quite large. We have almost 30 acres, over 23 acres here, just about. And we might start off with these couple here. Maybe these are a nice size. And the reason that I kind of like doing these contracting, this contracting series, is that we're going to be able to see a big portion of the map. We're going to be able to drive around, kind of explore the area, see if we want to set up a farm in the future. We might have a better idea of where we want to make that happen after kind of knowing getting the lay of the land a little bit, so to speak. So let's go ahead and accept this contract from David. Let's see, he's going to pay us about $7,800 to harvest 7.67 liters of wheat, and we just have to take it right next door. So it does help having Richard with us, because he will be able to at least kind of either drive the tractor or, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, look at all the other ones that just popped up. That's wild. Okay, so yeah, so we definitely have our work cut out for us today. No shortage of options. We're going to try to get as many of these done as possible. So let's go ahead and get the comment in the field. But before we do that, I do want to do a quick little equipment overview. So you can see we have, I think this is the best way to do it, because then you can see kind of the specs of everything that we have. So we have this Bailey trailer, TB16 trailer, about 22,000 liters capacity. Nothing fancy, but that'll get the job done just fine. We have a Fiat 16090 DT, which I am excited to use this tractor. I've always wanted to have one of these. I've never really gotten the chance. I've always kind of talked myself out of buying one. But here we go, 160 horsepower should be more than enough to just pull a grain trailer around for a while. And we have our header trailer, and then our New Holland, where is it? The TC5.90. This is a nice medium-sized little combine. You know, not the biggest one that we could get our hands on, but we did put a lot of money up front, hence our tiny bank balance here. We did put a lot of money up front to invest in all this equipment. So this was pretty expensive, so we're going to, get our use out of this for sure. But, that's not to say down the road we might upgrade to a little bit bigger of a combine. And then we have our Superflex 25-foot header, which equates to 7.5 meters. Plenty of space for these fields. I think this is going to be a great starting combine for us. Just a great amount of horsepower, and the header length is going to make, the work pretty easy, but again, something we can improve on in the future. And then we have our 6-meter corn and sunflower header here, the New Holland 680R 8-30. But yeah, so we'll see how much we use this one. I feel like this area, we have a lot of cereal crops, so we're going to be using this quite a bit. But yeah, that's about it for equipment. Again, nothing crazy, just a couple of things to get us started. So let's go ahead. We're going to take the combine over there. We'll have Richard go ahead and drive the tractor, and we'll go ahead and get over to the field and get started with our first contract, which, did I even accept it? No, I did not. So let's go ahead and accept that. We'll tell David we can go ahead and get over there. And yeah, he's got another one right down the road. Man, we might just, we could, what is that, 43? Where's his other one at? 48. I could just commit to those two right now. Just do a little bit of contract work for David. He's got so many, though. Look at all these that he owns. Man, he owns all these fields. Well, let's get this one done and see where we stand. Maybe we can even do one of these bigger ones. Let's go ahead and jump in, get to the field. See you guys there. All right, so Richard's already on his way. I'm just pulling up the map here to kind of see the best way to go. It looks like maybe picking up this main road to the right here will be the quickest way. We'll get out here real quick and close our garages so that nobody steals the equipment that we don't have. But either way, better keep our shed locked up. All right, let's get on the road here. So I think it's going to be pretty fun trying to use this this interior view only. I do like driving in cab a lot. However, it is a bit challenging in some aspects, especially when you can't really use the mirrors in this game like you would expect. They're not really the best, if I'm being honest. Because, look, you can only see the side of the combine. You can't really see anything behind you. So we're just going to rely heavily on, I don't even know how well we'll be able to see the pipe in this combine. Might be a little bit challenging to unload. But we'll cross the bridge when we get there. However, we are fortunate enough in this combine. It's pretty new. We do have GPS, which is going to pay big dividends for us. I'm very excited to be able to use that, and it'll help us harvest these fields a little bit quicker. 14 miles an hour, though. This is not the fastest combine in the world, I must admit. One thing that I do kind of hope to get at some point maybe is a truck. I would like to get like a low loader and be able to haul the combine around, because this is not a huge map. It's just regular size. It's not a 4X map or anything. But it is 14 miles an hour. It's going to take quite a bit, isn't it, to get around here and all that. So where is that the path that I want? No, it's up here. Here we go. Here's the main road. All right, and here we are just pulling up to the entrance to the field here. And one thing that I am grateful of is that I don't have to see I don't have the ability to see the long line of cars that was probably just behind me coming up that main road there. So we were going pretty slow, and you know what? Can't really see it on my mirrors, so I guess no harm, no foul, right? Yeah, so it looks like this field here to our left is the one that we gotta get started with, and I remember it's about 7.7 acres. Not too bad, if I say so myself. Should be done with this pretty quickly. And Richard's already here. He flew there in that Fiat, man, compared to this thing. But let me just jump out here real quick. I want to make sure, I want to see what side the header's on so I know where to pull this trailer up to. So, okay, cool. I can just park it right on the right here. That's beautiful. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. So we'll just find a kind of a nice gap here. We do have this little ridge on the left, but it looks like on the right, if I pull up here, we can have a nice spot to kind of unload. You know what? We'll just go right across here from the path. How about that? That should be perfect. Pull up right here like this. Oh, look at that. You can see we're at the edge of the map here. Yeah, then we should just be able to disconnect and we can just pull up right there and grab that. Yeah, so this is where it would be nice to have a little bit better, more functional mirrors, because as you could see, kind of going in blind here. Not too bad though, get a little idea of where the path is there. I guess it could be worse. We also have this nifty little mod that allows you to move the camera around inside the vehicle. So look, let's just check this out real quick. If you scroll with the mouse, you can kind of zoom up and down like that. And actually it allows you to, I guess I can kind of use that to adjust my mirrors in a way too. And then you just can reset. Same thing with, if you hold shift, you can zoom in and out. That even allows you to check your mirrors a little bit too there. Look at that. And then finally, if you hold control, you can move left to right, and then you just reset that like that. So that's kind of a cool little nifty feature. Something that you don't always see. Okay, we'll go ahead and pull up. We'll attach to this. And let's bring this around like that. We'll just get this turned around here. The thing I love about driving combines is that they turn so well because they got that rear wheel steering. Very, very nice. And we're going to keep the straw swath. I think we're going to keep that disabled for now, since we're not going to be using that straw. And David said he doesn't really want it right now either. He's got some bigger fields. This one's not too big of a deal. But yeah, we will go ahead and get started with this harvest. Let me just go ahead and confirm where we need to drop this off, and I'll get all that set up with Richard, and then we can go ahead and jump in. Alright, so before I get too far into the field here, I just want to make sure. I want to cut to the left here to make sure that I'm always facing the outside, so when Richard comes to pull up and unload here, he's got a better access. And of course, he's just in the way. That's nice. Excuse me, sir. Can you please move your tractor? I guess not. We'll just go around for now. We'll get this little patch later, I guess. Not paying attention. Okay, let me go ahead and get my we'll set up our steering assist. Probably do, what should we say, 3 headlands on this field? Maybe just 2 should be sufficient. We will get this started. So let's go ahead and jump into a time lapse. Can't do any fancy shots with this, with this camera view only. So we're just gonna have to kind of power through here. But hopefully you guys understand. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this field harvested. Shouldn't take us too long at all. Alright, and it looks like we are full. So Richard, oh, we can't see our pipe right there. Perfect. So Richard should be coming around the field just behind us, I think, here. Pull up alongside, we'll get this unloaded. We can see him in our mirror there. But let's go ahead and shift to the left here so we can see him kind of pull up here. Oh, here we go. Looks like he's coming. Oh, or not. Oh, or not. Oh, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it, guys. Alright, well, we finally got our combine unloaded. Don't know what was going on there. It seemed he was having a little trouble navigating to where we needed him to go. But, nothing like a little stern talking to and possible manual intervention couldn't solve. But yep, we're back on track. Got our combine unloaded, and we will go ahead and keep going with the rest of the harvest. So let's just go ahead and knock this out real quick. Get all of our grain delivered, hopefully, and yeah, we should be done with this contract in no time. All right, so we're finally starting to get the hang of things here. I know that things were not off to a super smooth start, especially for our co-worker Richard there, who's having a little bit of trouble figuring out where to position the tractor properly to unload the combine. But that has since been pretty resolved, and you'll see in just a second I'm going to start this last pass here and extend our pipe, so he should know to drive over and we can get unloaded here. So I'll go ahead and swing that out over there, and he should get moving here in a second, and it'll pull up alongside of us in the correct position this time, hopefully. Yep, there he goes. All right, cool. So wait for him to get over here. We're gonna fill up before he gets here, so we'll just stop and wait. But yeah, look at this, perfect distance. We're gonna have just enough. Going back up here real quick so we don't run over the grain. But yeah, since the actually since the last little scene, I removed the mod that allowed me to move that camera position like up and down and left and right in the cab. Instead, I just opted to use this one that I've used for, I mean, years. Just this one where you can press down. Originally the key is shift, but I changed it to one of the other keys on my like one of the side additional keys on my keyboard. But yeah, you can just kind of zoom in wherever you're looking, and I feel like I use this more. It's a little bit easier to use than having to, you know, reset it every time, and it's just really convenient for kind of looking over the edge and making sure that you're properly, you know, aligned to hooking up trailers and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see here just now we can use it to kind of peek outside here, and we should see him pull up. Fingers crossed that it actually works this time. It's looking promising, and no. A little bit too far. I think he missed the pipe there. So let's see if he swings around again, and if he doesn't get it, then I might have to adjust another couple of settings here. But let's just wait one more time. There we go. Sometimes it takes a little bit of getting used to. But yeah, I know I could probably do a little bit better, but yeah, I was just messing with it a little bit, and I finally had to find, you know, I finally was able to find the sweet spot to where it'll pull up right alongside in the spot that we need. But yeah, now that we got that all sorted out, we can just kind of fire this up again, get back in line, and he will follow us as we keep driving here. So it'll pull up alongside of us, and we can just finish up this last pass, and we'll get that grain to the silo, which we can see just to our left there. That's where we're going. Already got one load done. Almost done with the second one. And so yeah, so we're gonna the field owner said we could keep a little bit of extra grain, you know, if the yield is good. He said, you know, we can benefit from that a little bit as well, so he'll just take what he needs, and then we'll kind of be able to reap the benefits of the difference. However, though, I do want to say that in the next episode I already have some thoughts about maybe how we can make this series a little bit more interesting and a little bit more realistic. So stay tuned for that. Hope you guys are, you know, enjoying this one, but be sure to stick around for the next one, because I got an idea that I think is going to be kind of cool in terms of how we can kind of, you know, really kind of lean into the contracting aspect of this series. You know, something that I haven't done yet, and so I think that would be really fun to do, and so I will tell you guys more about that in the next episode. But speaking of this episode, we will go get this done here. Oh, I don't know where he's going. Sir, don't really know what you're doing, but I think I just want to unload this last little bit into the trailer. I don't know where he's going. Stop moving away from me, please. Oh man, what's going on here? It's kind of funny. There we go. We'll just do that there. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Go ahead and shut this down. Have him hopefully go drop that grain off at the sell point, and we will go and hook up the header trailer, or hook up the header back on the trailer, hook up the header trailer, and then we'll get another contract started. So I don't want to start another contract until we get this delivered, but we still have plenty of time in the day, so we can definitely have room for 1 or maybe even 2 more contracts if we're lucky. We'll talk to you guys in a second. All right, so here goes Richard heading to the grain silo to drop off the rest of what's needed for the contract. Let's go ahead and jump in to the contracts menu and see what is available to us. So yeah, so we actually have tons of harvesting contracts to choose from. I think we're going to stick maybe with some of these small dollar ones. It would be nice to just knock out some of these. The fields aren't, you know, crazy big. I mean, we're looking at around 10 acres or so. I think that should be very, very doable for us. So I think we'll start with the small one. We have this $10,000 contract. We have field 48, which is kind of just down the road from us, a little bit closer to our farm, kind of on the way. Our farms, or not our farm, our little, you know, garage is right here in the middle, and so not too bad of an idea to kind of get closer to there. So yeah, so we'll do that, and then maybe we can jump over to field 41 even. Actually, you know what? I might even do 41 first, although it's, yeah, it looks like both of these are going to the same sell point. This Flotman grain down here in the corner. So yeah, let's go ahead and actually do that one first. We'll do field 41, 12.6 acres, $12,000, actually almost $13,000, and then we'll do field 48 and probably call it a day, or maybe not. We'll see what happens. But anyway, let's go ahead and once he gets that delivered, we'll accept this and head over there. So we're just going to go ahead and start heading over there now, since I know that I'm already going to take this one. So see you guys there. All right, so this is our field here on our right, field 41. We got canola in there. I'm just trying to find a little bit of a better spot to potentially unhook this trailer. So there's a little entrance back over there, but I don't think that's going to be a lot of, that's not going to give us a lot of room, and I'd kind of like to get off of this main road. So I think I'll keep going here. I think Richard might be up here somewhere sitting with the trailer. So we'll see if we can find a better spot before we get the trailer unhooked and everything. So yeah, something like this is definitely a bit better. We can go ahead and pull the trailer up over here, probably back up this little driveway here, and be able to hook this up. Like I said, you know, this hook up the header. I mean, like I said, this thing turns on a dime, so I'm not too worried about that. Just want to make sure that, yep, it looks like we're facing the right way. Let's get this disconnected. And we will try to get in position here without actually running this thing over. This is the one tough part about not having any the ability to jump out of the cab. Backing stuff up is a little bit challenging in this game, not gonna lie, but I think we should be okay. Not a ton of space to work with between these fields, got to be honest. It's still, even though the fields are bigger in this part of the UK, it seems like kind of the roads are not. So it's still kind of limiting us to maybe some smaller equipment, or just being really tactical about, you know, how we maneuver things, and kind of you got to think like a step ahead, you know what I mean, before you kind of chance going down any of these roads and anything like that. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into this field. We will get started with this harvest, and I'll probably just talk to you guys when we're done. So enjoy a little time lapse again. We'll see you guys in a minute. All right, guys, we're just getting done with this field here. Took quite a bit, you know, not the smallest field, but still, you know, not as big as some of the ones in this area. Here, we're just gonna go ahead and unload our final hopper's worth of canola, and as you can see, I am way too far away from the tractor. So let's again try this again. Still getting used to the in-cab view here. You know, depth perception is a little bit different. Oh, there we go. Yep, just crashed into the tire there. Perfect, perfect. As you can see, I'm really getting the hang of this. All right, after a good amount of trial and error, we finally got that in position. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, so we'll have Richard go ahead and unload this at the go drive it to the sell point, get the rest of this sold, and we'll collect our payment for this contract. And then while he's on the way doing that, we will go ahead and figure out our third and probably final contract for the day. We might take a contract on a bigger field since we still got a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and get him on his way, and then we will figure that out. You know, so actually I remember I was thinking about taking this contract on field 48 since it's also a canola contract, different sell point, but it's a similarly sized field, about 10 acres. So really not too bad. And I think that'll be the last one for the episode, but we'll go ahead and head over there and we'll accept that one because it's just down the road. Doesn't seem, it'll kind of take us back by our shop where we can, you know, stop and refuel before maybe a bigger contract in the next episode. So let's go ahead and get the header disconnected and we'll go ahead and drive over to field 48. All right, and as you can see, we've collected our payment, completed our final delivery for that last contract, up to almost 25 grand in the bank. Not too bad at all. And here we have a beautiful field of canola ready for us to harvest. A nice $10,000 payment incoming from this contract, provided that we get it done on time, which I do not think will be an issue. So as Richard is heading back, we're going to go ahead and climb into the combine, get this started up, and we will get started on the field here. So usually what I like to do, as you may have seen, is just kind of cut in kind of right at the beginning, and then we'll let we'll go ahead and get our GPS configured. So I do always like to do a couple of headland passes, especially on fields like these, so we have some space to turn around at the end. I think this will be a really easy field to do. We have this nice straight edge here on the right. We'll just kind of do a couple headlands and then go back and forth up that straight edge there. So let's go ahead and get this started. We'll put this in a cruise control real quick. And there we go. That should be good. But yeah, since we're getting started on this, I think this is a great spot to go ahead and call it an episode for the first installment of our new little mini-series here. Or maybe it won't be so mini after all. I want to pose that question to you guys. What do you think we should do with this series? I know we're doing some contracting work, starting off doing some contracting work, but, you know, should we try to save some money to just expand our contracting business? You know, maybe get additional combines, additional grain trailers, even additional types of harvesters, and just stick, you know, as a contracting business? Or should we save up a good amount of capital and buy our own farm? Those are the two questions, right? Those are kind of the two logical paths forward. So what do you guys think? I will leave a poll up for you all to decide, and, you know, that'll definitely kind of determine where we take the next episodes of the series as we make some more money. You know, do we want to reinvest it in the business, or do we want to save it and just kind of work with what we have and save up a big lump sum to invest in some, you know, land and machinery and different types of tractors and, you know, seeders and things? What do you guys think? Let me know. But yeah, with that being said, you know, stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to try out something that I kind of been thinking about in terms of, you know, kind of mixing things up a bit from what people typically do with the base game. You know, I want to try out some different compensation structures, you know, for contracting and stuff. So it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see how much, you know, money we'll actually make from contracts using this data and this compensation structure going forward. So yeah, stick with me in the next episode. We'll go ahead and check it out. Try something different for a change. You know, I've been playing this game for a long time. I feel like, you know, you kind of do the same stuff and get trapped into the same, you know, same types of series, types of work, you know, things like that. So it should be fun. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all have a great rest of your week. And stay tuned for more Farming Simulator and City Skylines videos and, you know, other live streams and things on the channel. So have a great week, and I will talk to you all soon. Peace out.